Hello, everyone. This is Andreas, pop culture guy. Chris and I are back again for another spectacular Andreas pop culture talk. And of course, today we're discussing Barbenheimer. That's right, Barbie slash Oppenheimer. We seen these films finally. We finally saw Barbie. We saw Oppenheimer first a long time ago, July. So, but no worries. I mean, it's a pretty awesome movie. I think we can remember some parts. So, but yeah, Chris, how you doing? How was your day?
Good. I'm doing all right. My day was great. Thanks to the Lord, and you know the news that I
Yep.
officially got hired to as a crew member for AMC Theaters.
Yeah.
This is definitely, like I said, I'm definitely nervous because it's definitely going to be a new experience for me, and I know that I'll have to adjust to certain things that I may not be comfortable with. So I know that I'll have to really step out of my comfort zone with this job because it does carry a lot of responsibility and task. So, but I'm confident that things are going to work out because I know the Lord
Yeah.
has my back, and regardless, everything is done according to His will. So I'll be okay, regardless of whether things pan out or not. I'll be fine.
Yes, sir. Yes. Same here. So yeah. So very excited that you got a job finally. That's good. I like this in the theater. That's good. I mean, as Kristen, I think brought up in the chat, I think 2 days ago, that you're gonna get free movies if you work.
Yes,
So you get a
that's one of the
discount.
benefits.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's good. Um, but yeah. So yeah, yeah. I'm like so speechless. I'm very happy. Because folks. Yeah, don't know. Me and Chris have been doing job search. Especially for me after I was done with my college. Chris, how long you been done with your college? Like I think last year or something like that.
Yes. I graduated May of last year and I got my bachelor's degree in communication. I
Okay,
had
okay.
I had voluntarily left Chick-fil-A before I had graduated because unfortunately, I dealt with a situation where a coworker was harassing me. I reported him and I made it clear to my then managers that I didn't want to work with him anymore. But unfortunately, they still scheduled me with him and he continued to harass me. So I was like, this isn't worth my mental health. So I left.
Yeah, good, good, good job. Leaving. I don't understand why they did that. So, but at this point, it's been a year, so it's over now. So, really good.
That's right.
Uh,
It's over now.
yes, exactly. So today we're gonna discuss two movies. How you want to start, Chris? You want to start with Barbie or Oppenheimer? Where you want to go, buddy?
Let's start with Oppenheimer first.
Okay, okay, that's fine. So we'll go with Oppenheimer. So this is the new Christopher Nolan movie, of course, starring Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Josh Hartnett, and Kenneth Branagh are in the film. And this is Christopher Nolan's, I think, 12th uh, cinematic film in his filmography. And this was his last movie was Tenet, which me and Chris actually seen in theaters like, oh my God, 3 years ago, I think, right? Like 3 years during the pandemic. Um, and we saw it, and really we chose this as a first movie in the week of Barbenheimer was open with Barbie and Oppenheimer releasing the same day. We chose to watch Oppenheimer on Sunday. So, Chris, what's your overall thoughts on the film? I mean, it should be no surprise. We all like the film. So,
Oh,
what's your thoughts on the
absolutely. I
film?
mean, definitely had to build a lot of endurance. It definitely was long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And but what I really liked was the sound effects of the film because when it came to the bombs exploding, you know you can just you can just really feel the sound, and it's like you were actually there watching that bomb explode, and and
Yeah,
your ears jumping off your head. So I really love the sound effects, and Cillian Murphy. Words can't describe his how he bodied this his performance, and how he really embodied the character. Who was a real person.
yeah,
Definitely didn't see those sex scenes coming. It was pretty raw with like the nudity and stuff. So that was kind of like, whoa, okay, that's kind of strange. But overall, the movie was good. I enjoyed myself, and it was definitely, worth its 3 hours.
yeah. That's very true. Uh, Thank you for bringing up the sex scenes because I think you had a good reaction while we were watching it, and we were
Actually,
shocked by it.
the crowd did. They were, you can tell like they were surprised. They were surprised.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I, I mean, it's just very unusual for Christopher Nolan to do that. Like his films, I mean, he has done rated R films, but like even the rated R films he's done previously are not like that graphic that like we saw in this film. But hey, I mean, he did something new, so it was like very impressive, and it at least wasn't gratuitous like some sex scenes if we've seen them in years. I think this was very tastefully, and you kind of understand context of it, you know. So, but that's pretty good. I agree with you, Chris. I will say this is like overall, this was Nolan's best film. If you check out my Instagram, I did post on my top 10 favorite Christopher Nolan films, and this was my third favorite after Dark Knight and Inception. I think this is his best film since those movies. I mean, like everything about it is just great. Like everything has came together so effectively. Like the sound design is actually the best since I think Inception, because Nolan has been having trouble with his sound design for
Hmm.
some reason. Like Tenet, like the last movie you and I saw in theaters, was like it had really mixed sound designs that like it was hard for us to understand what was going on with our characters talking.
Hmm.
So I think that was one of the issues with that. Um, and then the performances, like I mean, I was so happy that Cillian Murphy was the lead in this film. Like he's been working with Nolan since Batman Begins, and so I was very happy he got a chance to be a lead on a Nolan film, and it did not disappoint, which I was very happy. And the ensemble cast was great. Like I loved Emily Blunt in this film. I love Matt Damon. He was great. I mean, he had really great funny lines. I loved the part when one of the scientists wanted to leave and then say, "What are you gonna do?" With the clearance and all that. And he said he's gonna kill him. It was so funny. If you understand what was going on with that scene and the whole, fear of the communists finding out the Manhattan Project and all that. Anyway, and then of course Robert Downey Jr. and like in his supporting role was like really good. One of his best performances since oh my god, since Tropic Thunder.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I really liked it. It's one of my favorite films of 2023 of this year. Um, yeah, I was just very shocked with like how good it was, and I'm so happy it's performing well in the box office. It just recently overtaken Guardians 3 to be the third highest of this year in terms of worldwide. So yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
That's not surprising to hear at all. I mean, it definitely had a bit of its funny moments, and it was nice to see Robert Downey Jr. Performing
Mm,
as with post Iron Man, and seeing him as pretty much a bad guy technically. That was definitely interesting to see, and of course, I know with a 3 hour film, I know it's easy to get bored, but I think that the storyline and the sound effects were compelling enough that you didn't get bored. You were still so invested in the scene, and that movie had you on your feet. And I love whoever the composer was, did a great job of setting the tone with each scene with its music. Because you notice as each scene got intense, the music got intense, the pacing of the music got faster, and you can just you can just feel your heart rushing with adrenaline. So definitely the sound system and this I mean sorry the sound effects and the music really did a good job of taking us of where we are in the movie and setting the tone.
Yeah, I agree. So you're speaking of the music. The composer was Ludwig Göransson. He was the composer that did
Ludwig who?
Ludwig um, Göransson, the
Mm-hmm.
Swedish composer that did the two Black Panther films,
Right.
and he's the one that did Tenet. He took over for Hans Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. So what else he did that I could see? Let's see what he did. Here, filmography. So he did like, oh wow, he did a couple of Ryan Coogler's films like Food Station and Creed. He did Top Five, the Chris Rock film. He did Central Intelligence. And I mentioned, yeah. Oh, he did Venom, the first one. He did the two Black Panther movies, and yeah, and this is the second collaboration for Nolan for him because he did Tenet. So yeah, I enjoyed the music here than Tenet, I would say, because it was a little more uh, exciting to hear. So you know, but yeah, yeah, that's where we're at with the composer. But anyway, um, I guess the big question is like, do you know Oppenheimer like as a person? Because that was the thing. Like, I knew about the Manhattan Project, and like, if you've been like, if you know about your World War II stories, like, you know that the
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan Project was a thing that created the H bombs that attacked
Right.
Nagasaki and other the Japan territories during World War II. Do you know about this person? J. Robert Oppenheimer.
No, I did not know who he was until I saw this movie. From
Okay.
what the movie told us is that he was seems like he was a little bit of a womanizer and a showman. He definitely looks like his private life was a you know disaster. You can tell that he was definitely a smoker,
Yeah.
and obviously you learned about his Jewish heritage and how definitely World War II, affected him as well as millions of people throughout the world, especially the countries involved in that deadly war.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't until I saw this movie, I didn't know J. Robert Oppenheimer. I didn't even know he existed until I saw this film. So this was a great history lesson for me, and especially as a person that loves history.
Yeah. That's true. Same here. I think this was like the first time seeing this character uh, depicted. I think I'm trying to remember like what else that like I saw some media that they depict him. I think I yeah, I think this movie is one of the best like biopics that for someone like a single individual from history. Like I think they did a good job of like just digging in his life, his philosophy, his way of thinking, and like how important he was creating this like bomb for the government, and like how like questioning the impact of creating this like huge powerful weapon that will affect the course of human history or human life, right? And I think that this movie by Nolan did a really good job of addressing that in a very like really intellectual way, and I really appreciate that because we don't discuss that in like, and plus I think they did a good job of like being honest who this person was. Like he wasn't perfect, so I really like that they dug in with his affairs and all that. Like it's kind of neat, because they that movie can easily like swept away with the whole press for the whole communist affair he had, or the mistress that he was having while doing this project. But I was happy that they dealt with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, of course. You know, no, no one is perfect. No one is perfect. You know,
Yeah,
we all know that. But and I'm glad that the film, did not shy away from his personal life and his own vices that he had himself. Um,
yeah,
I wish Florence Pugh got more screen time though.
yeah. That's very true. I mean, first off, I was shocked that yeah she was there. I mean, I saw the
Mm-hmm.
trailer. She was there. I didn't know what kind of role she was gonna have. Like, seeing the villain, you understand what that is. I mean, look, Florence Pugh is a great actress. I think like what was great about Nolan. Every film he has, there's like actors that have this one moment and they're good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like what is it, Tenet? Like Michael Caine was in Tenet, and that was a good scene. And like he's barely in the film. Or like I'm trying to figure out who else. Like Rutger Hauer from the Blade Runner movie, actor. In Batman Begins, he's barely in that film, but like he's really good at that as this like shady businessman that wants to control White Enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
or or like David Bowie for The Prestige. He plays Nikola Tesla in that film, and he's barely in that film, but like he's really good at that. So that's the testament of Nolan as a director, because giving the actors a leeway, but also direct them very well to have the performance to impact the emotions right away. And I think Fairness Pugh nails that very well in this film, no matter the screen time. So I think it really works. I like the detail that maybe it was one of the governments that killed her. Like we discussed, there was like briefly a scene where a glove was like in the scene briefly, and then that was like very funny and like like it's kind of conspiracy thinking that maybe the government kind of quiet her down if she probably leaked some things for the mana project or whatever. So I
Mm-hmm.
think all that really works. I think I'm happy what we did with Florence Pugh here in the film. Um, because there's other characters in it,
Right, right.
but I understand.
The casting was top tier. You had Robert Downey Jr. You had that actor from who played the young Han Solo. You
Yeah,
had Florence Pugh. You had Matt Damon, Kenneth Branagh. It was definitely like a wider range of veteran actors.
yeah,
So like
yeah,
each character got their moment to shine, which is hard to do when you have when you cast so many top tier actors.
yeah. It's true. I mean, it's always like precise and delicate that you have to do with those actors, and like what you have to do to make the performance hit right away, and like you can understand what's going on, and
Mm-hmm.
like appreciate what they're doing, and that's something that's hard sometimes. And with Nolan, I think he has definitely nailed that very well. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. Um, I guess let's get into like aspect of the film. Like, what do you think about the humor that they displayed this? I think it was Nolan's best use of humor in the film. I thought
Yeah.
everything landed right away to laugh. Like towards the end, when you brought up the Han Solo actor, Bernard uh, Reich or something like that. That's the name of the Han Solo actor. He lists down the people that voted down Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and he said JF Kennedy, and people like our audience laughed really hard when John F. Kennedy was brought up. I thought that one was really
Well, I
good.
like
Like
they
humorous.
kept the humor at a minimum, and
Yes.
because like it didn't take away from the point, the main theme and the main point of the film. So I think they did a nice job of balancing, of knowing when to hit the humor at the right times.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, especially like the apple that he was trying to poison his professor.
Right,
Because
right.
like very tense, but also funny. Like when he had to grab it from his favorite IO scientist that was played by Kenneth Branagh. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and you heard in the movie, I noticed, there was a lot of like references to like like communism and fascism, and those two ideologies are pretty are those two ideologies still exist today. So I like how Christopher Nolan really addressed the impact of those two political ideologies in the film.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. I was very surprised that he was like into the communist beliefs. I mean,
Oh, who,
I
Oppenheimer?
mean, yeah. Like I was very shocked about that, and I was just. I mean, he was never like, well, how to say it? Like he was into it. Like he agreed with the beliefs, but like he never went forward into into the communist community, like several of the characters we saw, like Florence Pugh's character was like
Hmm.
in the communist
Right.
party, and I'm kind of like fascinated why the Applehammer didn't join, but at the same time he was like, I mean, it was like in between, or like it was like during when World War II was starting to pick up, so like I don't know, like I just it's very interesting he didn't join like the party full on. But at the same time, like what happens, like if you're full on correct like communist, you gotta be arrested, right? Like during that time, right? Because like communist party was kind of scary. Like I mean, like like the Russia versus US is still like going. And, it's like we still not trust them for some reason. So
Oh, yeah,
I
I
we,
don't know too much about these ideologies. Well, do you know what communism and fascism is directly?
uh, fashions I know a little bit more than communists.
Right.
Can you like explain more to communists for like the audience and for me? Because I personally haven't really got that far stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, actually, okay. So just to give me a second.
Yeah, for sure.
So communism is a political ideology and type of government where the state owns the major resources in a society. The goal of
Ah,
communism Yes, the goal of communism is to create a classless society where everyone shares the benefits of labor. In a communist society, the state controls all property and wealth. The state also owns the means of production, education, agriculture, and transportation. So it's basically a left wing to far left socio political, philosophical, and economic ideology within the socialist movement.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Because with fashion, with fashions, it's more of a authoritarian
Yeah.
society, like
Hmm.
like holding a grasp on the people and like brainwashing them into believing this like cause that it's not true, and
Yeah.
like and just
Right.
suppress them, you know.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Because fascism, it emphasizes far right nationalism and the supremacy of the nation and a single leader over the individual citizen. So fascists believe that the state takes precedence over individual interests. So they
Yeah,
oppose Marxism, liberalism, and democracy.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Which I think like I guess like Japan sort of is that right? Like in terms of their culture a little bit, like they display it differently, but like you
Right.
can view Japan like a little bit like fashions, the way they handle their like people and then the way of working in their government way. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, I didn't know too much about communists, but that makes a lot of sense. And it makes sense for Oppenheimer, I think, because I think I I agree on one part having the government control resources, but I don't like the idea of the government controlling like other things that's not really theirs,
Right. I mean, you
So
don't want to. You don't want to have because everyone unfortunately, yeah, not everyone is treated equally and fairly. But you definitely don't want the government to have full control of your life and your individual rights, because bad things happen when the state has total control over the rights of its citizens.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah, it's very scary. But I'm happy for this person not joining the communists. I think it could have been weird, but anyway. But I did laugh very hard. Like how, like I, I don't know. Like it was just very funny that the government allowed Oppenheimer to for him to break protocols to leave the base, and that could have been more suspicious to him. And then at the same time, he did the other thing where he lied about where he was going to, where he was going to meet Florence Pugh's character. Like he took a lot of risk.
Yes, Florence Pugh's character was Jean Tatlock,
Mm-hmm.
and we all know he was Oppenheimer's lover before and during his marriage to his wife Kitty, who was played by Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
What did you like Jean Tatlock? How did you like Pugh's performance with this character?
I I I liked it. As I brought up, I thought I brought up that I think the screen time she has was great. It was enough to really convey what was going on. I thought Florence would really bring that character to life, like because I read, I think afterwards from the film, that she was a troubled person. She was a very complex character that
Wait,
um
was a real person?
yeah, well, a lot of these characters were real. Like Lewis, so like Robert Downey's character, Lewis Strauss is real. He was
Right.
part of that thing. So Jean Tatlock was a real character, was part of the Communist Party, um,
Mm-hmm.
which was banned apparently in the 1950s, of course, because of the McCarthy thing. Unfortunately, she suffered a lot of clinical depression, so that's why she committed suicide, as we saw in the film. Um, I, I think I'm seeing, yeah, like I think so. Like in the film, there is conspiracy that it could have been an assassination as well, but it's
Mm-hmm.
very much like a vague theme in the real life talk about this character, or well, this person, not character, but this person in real life that's associated with Oppenheimer. In the film, I liked how they actually addressed that like she did commit suicide, but also throw out this theory that's been discussed that she could be assassinated by maybe the U.S. or something like that. Um, and you brought up Ellie Blunt's character Kitty. Like, let's bring up the wife. Like, I really like Emily Blunt. She's a great actress.
No, absolutely.
I thought, yeah, I thought she was amazing. I think everything what she did was a great character. That was as you've seen with a wife type of character. I think she really conveyed that. I think she had great chemistry with Cillian Murphy as the duo. But yeah, my favorite scene from her was when she kind of had to shake off a Palmer's sadness of what happened to Jane's death, and he had to get it over and help these people to make this happen with the bomb. So I like that scene. When she has to find him. But yeah, I think Ellie Blunt was really great as well. Like, we should not forget about her. She was a great character here, actress. So,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
about.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Absolutely. You definitely, and of course, would you? She definitely was pivotal in Oppenheimer's life and who he was, but obviously, it wasn't going to work because I wouldn't say they were lovers. They were just two people that just got together for sex. That's all it was. It wasn't anything more. It wasn't anything more than that. And I don't think Oppenheimer was even in love with her in the first place.
no, no. I don't think so either. I mean, like he already had a wife and a kid, so like it was more like taking off the pressure that he was dealing with current, with the Manhattan Project. So it makes sense, and it happens in real life, so makes sense, Um, and then also like we talked, I brought briefly Robert Downey Jr. His character, Lewis Strauss. So he's a real person, and he was really
Mhm.
against Oppenheimer as a character. We thought about
Oh,
Robert Downey Jr.'s performance here and all that.
well, clearly he had a vendetta against him because you know they just couldn't agree. They just couldn't agree, and Robert Downey Jr.'s character is he made it his mission to take Oppenheimer down, and throughout the film it looked like it worked, but at the end
Yeah,
got he got caught, and his ego
yeah,
got the best.
yeah. It did. I was like, I was like very surprised by one of the scientists that was played by Rami Malek to like spit out that this is all his doing, and that was like such a great burn. And then I like towards the end of the film that he got voted down by 5 people, including our, I guess, future president, right, or like our current president, John F. Kennedy, to like just devote him from what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So it was pretty cool. Um, okay, let me. So like, any more you want to discuss with other characters? Like I guess briefly, Matt Damon. Like Matt Damon was great in this film. Um, I think that was a great, like, unexpected duo. I was expecting him and Cillian Murphy were great together. He had the
Mm-hmm.
best funny lines, which I liked. So I thought he was really good. But any thoughts on Matt Damon as general? I think I know his kept from just give me a minute.
Oh no,
Matt
I
Damon.
thought
General.
I yeah, I liked his performance too, and definitely he had a lot on his shoulders, so it seemed like he was always on edge, and and I just liked the relationship between Oppenheimer and Matt Damon's
Yeah,
character, and I
yeah,
like
great.
we said if we push that button, is there a chance that like we can basically destroy the whole world? And I think that really speaks to how lethal and how powerful this bomb really was, because
Yeah,
you know you know the fact that we even have the capability as humans to build such a weapon like that could literally destroy the planet. It's just I think one thing this film showed is that humans are capable of anything.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Um, yeah, I agreed. And then plus just him believing Oppenheimer being the right guy was kind of cool to me. So it's pretty cool. Oh, and other thing, I guess the big elephant in the room, Einstein. Let's bring up that person because the actor who played Einstein, I was like, they got a really good actor playing Einstein.
Yeah, I
And
mean
then
he
I
got
did,
a good job with the apparent with his like physical appearance. Is like he definitely resembled Einstein a lot.
yeah, 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 and I think that people like Einstein. Like I mean, out of all the scientists in the world, like everyone recognizes Einstein. Um, one thing I, but so everyone knows this character's name. The actor that plays Einstein is called Tom Conti, and he is actually the actor that was in Dark Knight Rises that helps Bruce Wayne during the pit. That helps him like fix his back apparently. uh, during
Really,
Bruce
I
Wayne's
gotta
skull.
I gotta watch it again because I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's that guy. I know you say you saw or like recently Dark Knight Rises, but that's the guy that plays Einstein. If you've seen the pit scenes, the guy that talks to um Bruce and like he's the one that helps fixes back is that person that plays Einstein.
Oh wow,
That makes
that's
sense.
him. Oh
Yeah,
wow, that
that's
was
him.
wow. I did not notice that at all.
Yeah, I mean, he looks just. I mean, like right, like he has white hair. He doesn't have a mustache like in this film, where he's supposed to have that because that's Einstein. So I am very impressed that like he looked like Einstein. So that's very
Oh,
impressive. So that's
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
So they took time in making sure that he resembles, Einstein, because if he didn't even come close to resembling him, he would have caught a lot of criticism from fans, and I think that speaks to the genius and the work of Christopher Nolan. And I'm not surprised that this film did perform the way it did. You give
yeah,
you hand Nolan a film, with themes that Oppenheimer has. It's going to do well because he's done it before. I mean, and I think it's because of Nolan in a way that he really got the MCU and the DCU started because of his masterful cinematic movies with Batman: The Dark Knight and that trilogy.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, well, that too, but also, I mean, just being a good director. I think that's the big thing with Nolan. I like the most. I always wonder. So like yeah, there's a lot to talk about this film. Briefly, like Gary Oldman as the president, Harry as Truman. That was funny. I was so happy that Nolan brought
That
back.
was so surprising. I did not expect that.
No, I try to remember. Like, yeah, I knew. I yeah, like something was big. Like I was just shocked to see Gary Oldman as in this movie and as the president during that time. That was really great, and he definitely nailed the character, the president Truman personality
Yep.
and all that. It was funny. He's like
President Henry
never
Truman.
bring this. Yeah, I love the end of the scene. Like never bring this weak. Was it like P person? in his office again. Oh my god, it was just very funny.
He did a good
But
job
yeah,
with his southern his accent, like some southern accent though.
oh yes, that's very true. Yeah, that's always the top thing when you're doing something for people. I get everyone. I think everyone had played a couple of those, so like he's very like natural with that. But Gary Oldman's good when he goes into character very well. Like I don't know, you seen Darkest Hour? He played Churchill. That was the movie that got his Oscar, his first Oscar. It's really good. He definitely Churchill there. Anyway, so let's like wrap up Oppenheimer so we can get into Barbie. I want to give you some facts, if you don't mind. So I want to do is the fictions. Yeah, so some of the things are not true in the film. So apparently this is fiction. People didn't notice an explosion in the middle of the desert. So apparently in this article I was checking, it say that Oppenheimer doesn't zoom out beyond the scientists and military members who watched the Trinity test that we see, where they test the first bomb. Uh, so apparently they say the brightness of the flame and the sound of the explosion and the shaking caused by the last wave didn't go unnoticed. But it say that the force blew out windows nearby cities in Texas residents, so they could see the flash from over 280 miles away. So that's the thing. And yep, and it was recorded in the newspaper. So that was it. Oh, another fiction. They say they knew the bomb was going to end the world, and the war. Sorry, not the world. My bad. That sounded like an alien taking over the Earth. I am an alien. I will drop a bomb and end the world. Anyway, my bad, my bad, guys. So apparently this was fiction. In the movie, they make it seem the reason they're using the bomb is because they want to invade. They didn't want to invade Japan. Now this is not true. Like we did invade Japan
Yeah.
during World War II. If I remember correctly, right? and it's just not actually discussed at the time. But apparently, this was like a fact rational that was created later. And apparently, in December of 1946, in the article, it apparently said dropping bomb was a calculated gamble that Secretary of War Stevens and others hoped it could end the war, but it was not true because we ended the war around 1948, right? That was when World War II was over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay, let's see. Let's look at something more interesting. Oh, here we go. This one's interesting. So, fiction. This one's fiction. Oppenheimer was silent because he was thinking about the long-term implications of nuclear weapons. Now, so apparently says that the main character was a bit a lone wolf, the only one in meetings with Groves and Stevens, these war generals, asking the questions about the long-term implications of the nuclear weapons as we see in the film. But it's sort of different because in some sort of French precision that only Oppenheimer had, he definitely played a role in African it in real life. So, so it was so like other people had the same idea, and lots of people took it really seriously as highest levels of government were thinking about that. So it wasn't only Oppenheimer, it was everyone else that were thinking about that. And this includes Stevens, who brought these concerns to the president, but it seems like the president didn't care, as we've seen. No. Oh, this is fiction. Oppenheimer consulting Einstein about the Taylor's calculations of the hydrogen bomb. So apparently this was not true. So
Okay.
so apparently it wasn't Einstein who Oppenheimer went to. It was okay. So instead it went to instead Oppenheimer consulted this person Compton. So I think is let me check. I think I did see this character in the film. Uh, just give me a minute. Yeah, or I think he's not in the film. Don't think. Uh, I don't think he's in the film. So yeah. So the no. So this person was not in the film. So this was fiction. Okay. So next fiction was Oppenheimer was it remade anti H bomb. That was not true. Apparently, there were a few reasons why Oppenheimer was hesitant about the H bomb, including there were limited resources for weapons development after the war. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to don't want to make weapons, but like making more weapons already have, not waste material on the weapons that might not work. And apparently he was like in favor again, and sort of. So yeah, so it was not true. Um, Fiction. The secretary for Oppenheimer that we saw in the face was fake apparently. So like that wasn't true. Uh, yeah, it's like so that secretary was briefly as a secretary for Oppenheimer, but then it went differently. So and that's it. So that's my fiction of this Oppenheimer thing. So just like bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what are things that's well, anything else to say about Oppenheimer, Chris? I think is there anything else to say besides going get ready to talk about Barbie a little bit? What's your overall thoughts of the film? And have you seen the film a second time?
No, I only saw it once with you. Like I said, it was a good film, and it was a great history. It was a great history lesson for me, and definitely I'll start doing my own investigation into Oppenheimer and World War II, and how that period in history affects us today still. But I'm ready to move on to Barbie.
Sure. All right. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Oppenheimer for the Barbie Hummer podcast. So now we're going to Barbie, the 2023 film that stars Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling.